Hey guys, let's get more news about Lakers, but first, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and leave a like. Lakers Rob Pelinka shuts down disrespectful Luka Doncic rumor. Mavericks have spread. Rob Pelinka, the general manager of the Los Angeles Lakers, played Nico Harrison and the Dallas Mavericks like a fiddle in February when he acquired Luka Doncic for Anthony Davis, Max Christie, and a 2029 first-round pick. Pelinka was able to keep the cost down by talking Harrison into the risks of taking on Doncic, not being able to speak to his agent ahead of time because they wanted to keep secrecy, and because Harrison had no idea what Doncic was worth. Part of the reason Harrison says he traded Doncic is because of Doncic's conditioning and work ethic. Patrick Dumont even said in the immediate aftermath of the trade that they want people who work hard like Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, and Shaquille O'Neal. Somehow, Shaq was name-dropped in that. Dallas made it seem like Doncic was a fat, drunk pig, as a friend of Doncic said to ESPN's Tim McMahon. "I tell you, he's been a great leader in the gym every day, working hard at his craft," Pelinka said before the Lakers Game 2 matchup in the first round against the Minnesota Timberwolves. "Obviously, you can't be one of the best players in the world without putting in the work." Dallas trying to discredit Doncic's work ethic was what drove many fans and players insane. He made 5 first-team All-NBAs in a row in his first 6 seasons. You don't just show up and do that. Doncic has been working at this since he was a kid and pushed through injuries to lead the Mavericks to the NBA Finals last season, but they still want to act like he didn't work. Rob Pelinka probably blocked Nico Harrison's phone number as soon as the trade was made, because he likely knew how badly he swindled Harrison for one of the 3 best players in the world. It gave the Lakers a chance to reset their clock once LeBron James retires, while the Mavericks likely won't be contending for championships anytime soon. Luka Doncic being a Los Angeles Laker remains the talk of the NBA over 2 months later, as people can't believe that the Dallas Mavericks would be dumb enough to trade a then 25-year-old 5-time All-NBA selection for a minimal return. That fire only gets stoked when Mavs general manager Nico Harrison talks to the media and makes comments that make no sense. Doncic has been confused by the whole ordeal but has taken the high road at every opportunity. That didn't change in a sit-down with ESPN's Malika Andrews. Part of Doncic's interview with Andrews came out ahead of the playoffs, which had people anticipating the rest, and ESPN released the entire interview on Wednesday evening. At one point, Andrews asked Doncic, "How do you look back on your time in Dallas now?" "I would say I gave everything to that franchise," Doncic answered. "I played through a lot of injuries and a lot of people don't know. Never asked for nothing, small things. I had a great time, honestly. It was the first team that drafted me. I mean, the trade happened in the draft, but I came there as a kid when I was 18, I didn't know what to expect from the NBA, I didn't know if I'd be good or bad. They gave me the opportunity and I really appreciate it. It feels like the Mavericks overlooked, among many other things, how banged up Doncic was last postseason and he was still able to lead them to the NBA Finals. Nico Harrison's new incompetent training staff did a poor job of letting Doncic heal, with a heel injury early in the season becoming a point of contention with the team and Doncic's camp. But you never heard Doncic complain about it in the media, and there's a chance he never will. Stephen A. Smith points out what's wrong with Julius Randle. The Minnesota Timberwolves fell to the Los Angeles Lakers in Game 2, and ESPN's Stephen A. Smith says Julius Randle's predictable play is part of the problem. In a segment on ESPN's First Take, Smith was very direct about what's wrong with Randle's game. "I don't want to see Julius Randle with the ball at the top of the key looking to put the ball down," Smith said. "Everybody and their grandmother knows you're going left, he's going left. It's what he does." According to Smith, this predictability is a huge disadvantage when going up against elite defenders like LeBron James, or even teams coached by sharp minds like J.J. Redick. You can't do that against LeBron James. You can't do that against a J.J. Redick-coached team. You can't do that against Luka Doncic and those brothers. You cannot do that, because predictability will end your season, he said. Randle scored a team-high 27 points in Game 2, but it wasn't enough. The Lakers shut down the Timberwolves' rhythm and held them to just 85 points. The Timberwolves opened the series with a dominant win, but Game 2 was a different story. The Lakers came out swinging, outscoring Minnesota 34-15 in the first quarter. Despite a late push, the Timberwolves never fully recovered. Even with solid efforts from Anthony Edwards and Randle, the Timberwolves' lack of scoring outside their top two players was evident. In a series that's now tied 1-1, the Timberwolves will need to make quick adjustments. If Randle can't diversify his approach, the Lakers may continue to exploit that weakness and move on to the next round. Rockets owner reveals he discussed dumbass Luka Doncic trade with President Donald Trump. The trade that sent Luka Doncic from the Dallas Mavericks to the Los Angeles Lakers will live in infamy, as the deal saw a five-time All-NBA selection get traded at age 25 for an older, more injury-prone, and worse player in Anthony Davis. There wasn't enough draft compensation in the deal to justify it either, with the Mavs picking up one worthless draft pick now that the Lakers have Luka for the foreseeable future. The deal was so bad that even the current U.S. President Donald Trump has been made aware of what a lopsided trade that was. Houston Rockets owner Tilman Fertitta revealed to fans of the Houston Cougars that he discussed the dumbass trade with President Trump in the Oval Office. "I was in the White House, the Oval Office, with the Prime Minister of Italy and the President, Trump, last Thursday. We talked about the Houston Cougars for at least a minute and a half. And then we talked about that dumbass Luka Doncic trade that Dallas did." The Mavericks moving on from Doncic should be great news to Fertitta, as it guarantees his team doesn't have to compete against Luka Doncic and Victor Wembanyama to be the best team in Texas. They earned that title on their own this season with a 52-30 record and the number 2 seed in the West, with Wembanyama getting hurt and Doncic being shipped to the Lakers. Even though Doncic isn't in Fertitta's division, he won't be happy to see him remain in the Western Conference for arguably the most popular franchise in the NBA. It allows the Lakers to continue their rich history of having the best active players in the NBA, creating a direct line of succession from the LeBron James era to the Luka era. Fertitta was among the donors to President Trump's election campaign from the NBA. He gave $420,000 to PACs backing President Trump. His contributions were dwarfed in comparison to what the owners of Doncic's former team gave. The Mavericks, owned by Miriam Adelson, put about $100 million behind her Preserve America Political Action Committee backing Donald Trump's presidential campaign. Imagining President Trump's thoughts on the trade would be hilarious, but it's clear that Fertitta likely painted a negative enough picture for the president for even him to start wondering why Nico Harrison still has a job, just like almost everyone in Dallas. And you, fan? What do you think about Tilman Fertitta's situation? Write to us in the comments.